Kimu SDC with you here today, and I'm gonna start it off with a PLH, and I want to start it with chakras. Today we're going to talk about chakras, but we're going to talk about one in particular, and that's the root chakra. Now, first and foremost, I started becoming an understanding of chakras, and I was introduced to chakras through a TV show called Avatar: The Last Airbender, in which he had to open his he had to activate his chakras in order to basically save the world. And at first I didn't really pay attention to it, but as I began to start to become more conscious of the things that I was watching, I tuned into it and I decided to do some research on it. And in doing so, I began to understand what the chakras are. And now I want to convey that information and that energy to you to hopefully open up your chakras. But today we're going to start it off. We're going to do this video on the first chakra, which is the root chakra. And this chakra is represented by the color red. Now, when we think of red, we think, like, food-wise, we think of tomatoes and strawberries. Maybe you eat some pomegranates, raspberries. Those are things that help boost and open and cleanse your root chakra. And this chakra is located at the base of the spinal cord. And what it's associated with is your ability to be grounded, your foundation, your sense of security within yourself, within this body, this vessel, this vehicle, this spiritual vehicle that you carry every day, all day. And it's blocked by insecurities, fears, anxiety. And when we begin to feel, when that foundation, our sense of security has been broken, that root chakra hasn't been opened, we begin to hinder our ability to navigate throughout life. I know in my early journey, I had fears. Back when I was a child, and actually all the way up until I got older, probably about 2 years ago. And I was afraid of basically myself, because as a child, I had a wild imagination, and that wild imagination just took over. But I also love scary movies. And the way that correlates to my root chakra was I began to live in fear. For a very long time, I was afraid to go into basements, dark basements where you had to turn on the light at the bottom of the stairs, or I was afraid of going into attics, because in those scary movies, a lot of things happen in the basement, a lot of things happen in the attic, and there were dark places, and in the dark you really can't see. So it just allowed my imagination to run wild, and therefore for a long time I slept with the TV on, which really didn't help, because I became a Scooby-Doo fan, and of course that music kind of altered my dreams. And then when I woke up, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the dark, gotta turn on the light. And that fear, I had to understand that these things, that fear has to go away. It doesn't exist. But that's, to me, that's a simple fear. I had a lot of anxiety. In this society, I'm not sure about you, but me, I was trained to always plan ahead. And I was very good at planning ahead, because I was able to calculate different steps and avenues that could happen as a reflection of what I do, this and the next step that I take. I was able to calculate those things in very short amount of times. I would begin to, and it became such a repetitive thing where I began to calculate how a conversation with somebody is going to go. If I was about to have a conversation with somebody that I didn't want to have a conversation with, that anxiety brought me to a situation where I would calculate my next move, and I had different steps based off of the next step that I take, the next step that I took. So one step and then the next step, I was planning, and it was like a tree from step to step. But that brought me anxiety, and with that anxiety, I lost the sense of security in myself, because what if I didn't calculate a step that was taken? Then I wouldn't know how to respond, and I might become annoyed. Or maybe I dealt with insecurities. I had insecurities. We all have insecurities, but for my insecurities, I had to basically understand that some of these insecurities other people don't see. When I was in 8th grade, a teacher made note that I had long legs. And that might have been an observation of her, but to me, that was like, just her saying that, it led me to believe that that was abnormal. Other people didn't have long legs. And of course, eventually, with time, I had to understand that this was a part of me. This is the body, this is the vessel, this is my grounding, my foundation that allows me to be. And what helped me with that insecurity was I'm a big cartoon fan. And I watched Marvel and I watched DC cartoons. And I realized that these heroes had smaller torsos than their legs. I was like, and once I realized that, I was like, wait a minute. Maybe there's nothing wrong with me. Maybe I'm just supposed to be like this. I had a long journey of trouble accepting myself for that, and understanding that this insecurity, other people don't even see it. They probably were just accepting of just what that was about me. But that caused me to behave in so many different manners that the insecurity navigated the way that I moved through life. And eventually I became more accepting of those insecurities and said, this is just me. This is a part of me. This is who I am. So my note to you is, try to get rid of those insecurities. I know that I took a leap of faith once I established, opened, and balanced my root chakra. I decided that I was going to quit my job. And it took me the longest time, because I'm like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to support myself. Like, how am I going to live? Basically, I need clothes, I need food, I need shelter, I need food. I said food twice because health is wealth. And I started to realize that the more balanced that the root chakra became, the more secure I felt. And I realized that I was going to be okay. I'm secured in this vessel. I'm secured upon my foundation. And once we begin to secure ourselves upon the foundation that we have, and realize that these insecurities, these fears, this anxiety does not matter, because it's all in our head and we're going to be all right, then you're able to get that good energy and be like, woo! All day, every day. Peace, love, and happiness. So I want to push you today to open, number one, open that root chakra and gain that sense of security. Understand your insecurities and your fears and what drives you to be anxious, and get rid of them. And then build your foundation. And then once you'll do that, it'll be PLH, great energy all day and great vibes every day. And I'm going to finish on a Kimu SDC, PLH all day, every day. Peace, love, and happiness. Peace.